Hi, everybody. This is
Hello.
Fort Moody Library. Hello, Virginia.
Hello. How's it going?
It's going. How are you
Good.
today?
Good. Good. Because I'm just gonna
Good.
sit here and watch you tell us all about things. So it's good.
All right. Happy to do that. So, we are back with another Tech Thursday. We're your digital and information services team. And today we have a very special topic for you. Now, earlier in our series, you may have seen our video about accessing Library to Go and OverDrive ebooks using Libby, either on your desktop or using a mobile device like a smartphone or a tablet using the Libby app. Well, today we're going to talk about how you can access those ebooks directly from your newer model, Kobo. Now, it's easier than it sounds, so bear with us and we'll walk you through step by step. But in the meantime, I'm going to ask Virginia if she could, for those of us who may be newer Kobo users, newer ebook users, to tell us about the Library to Go collection and why it's so great.
All right. Well, Library to Go, as some of you, is the name of sort of like our ebook website, basically. So if you're looking for borrowing ebooks, you go to our Library to Go website. You might have heard some of us refer to OverDrive. OverDrive is sort of the same thing, basically. It's a company who provides all the ebooks. So you might hear OverDrive. Sometimes you might hear Library to Go. They're all the same. It's where you find great ebooks. You got ebooks for kids, for adults, for teens. It's bestsellers, we got classics, we got the popular books, we got the unpopular ones. No, we don't have unpopular ones, just the good ones. All the good stuff you can find on there. And what the collection is actually a share collection among some of the libraries in the Lower Mainland. So we share that collection with a bunch of other libraries, and we all sort of put money into this big pot so we can buy lots and lots of things for you. And because of that, sometimes you'll find that like there might be a bit of a long waiting list, and sometimes very long waiting list for certain items, especially the popular ones. It's again because we share. And how Library to Go works is that even though you think, well, it's electronic, shouldn't it just be like available for everybody all at the same time? Well, it doesn't quite work that way. It works exactly like buying a physical book. So if we want to have 5 copies available for our patrons, we'll need to buy 5 copies. So same thing for electronic. So what we do for Port Moody patrons, so basically anyone who has a Port Moody library card, is that we buy extra copies. And these extra copies is to supplement our collection so that, and they are just exclusive, just for you, Port Moody patrons. No one else can get at them. So if you're looking for the latest James Patterson, like you might see a whole list of 50 people waiting for it from all over the Lower Mainland. Well, it will be likely that there will be a few copies that are reserved just for Port Moody users. So don't get discouraged by this long waiting list. Because we always watch the waiting list, and if it gets long, if we know that there's maybe 10 people waiting for it in Port Moody, we'll make sure we get extra copies just for you. So sometimes we surprise people, they put a book on hold, and then it's said that they have I'm number 50 on the list, and then they might get it the next day because we have some extra copies that are just for Port Moody. So it is totally worth it to put it on hold. Don't get discouraged by the long hold list. It is we will watch it, and then as the whole list build, we'll make sure we get extra copies for everybody here. So that is, and as Liz pointed out earlier, you can use ebooks not just on Kobo, but also on your phone, your tablet, or also on your computer. But there is some I kind of read. I think Liz does too, read quite a bit from our e-reader. There's just something nice about the e-reader that is not with the glare on your screen on your phone, or it's just, it feels like reading a book, but to me a little bit more, I think. It's also very light. If you've never hold an e-reader, it's really quite light. And as Liz pointed out, the newer models of the Kobo e-reader, which is pretty much the only e-reader that you could that has library integration in Canada, I believe, right, Liz? Is that correct? Yeah.
Yes.
In the States, you might hear that people use Kindle, the Amazon one. That doesn't work, unfortunately, in Canada. So only the Kobo e-readers. But the new ones make it very easy to, they integrate it with OverDrive, with Library to Go very well. So it makes it really easy. But I do want to say, if you do have an older Kobo that you decide to like bring out from the dust and try it out, do give one of us, like the library, a call, or you can set up an appointment with one of us and we'll take you through that process, because it is a lot more steps involved to set it up, I would say. So it probably would be easiest to go through like in a one-on-one kind of tech appointment over online, that kind of situation. It would be a little easier for us to show you how that works. And it is quite finicky, but we are definitely here to help. But today we're going to do the easy one, which is, so I'll turn it over to Liz.
Yes, thank you, Virginia. And I'm just going to bring my Kobo e-reader out of sleep. Forgot to mention that, of course, as always on Tech Thursday, if you have any comments or questions, you just want to say hi, please do. Please enter your comments under the video. You need to be liking the Port Moody Library or following us in order for your comments to show up to us. If you are not watching this video live, we hope you still enjoy it. And we do still invite you to enter your comments and questions under the video. We always check back and follow up, so we'd love to hear from you. Okay, so with that, let's get started. I'm just going to bring up my Kobo e-reader. Now, while I do that, Virginia did mention that it is the newer Kobo models that have this OverDrive integration involved in it. So what that means is that pretty much any model that was sold starting from late 2016 onwards, so anything that's currently available for retail, does have this OverDrive support built directly into the Kobo. So as long as you have a Wi-Fi connection or as well as a library card, then you are pretty much all set to go with your newer model Kobo e-reader. Now, if you can't quite remember which Kobo model you do have, if you tilt your e-reader, now unfortunately I can't really do that right now. We have a very precarious home videography setup right now. But if you look either to the left or right of the charging port that's in your Kobo e-reader, you'll likely see some very faint text that tells you what the model name is. It's a bit hard to see sometimes, but it should be printed there. And just to clarify, the models that do have the OverDrive support built in are the Kobo Aura 1, which is what we'll be working on today, the Aura H2O Edition 2, the Clara HD, which I believe is one of the models that's currently available for retail sale, the Forma, which is also a current model, and the Libra H2O. So what we're demonstrating today on the Kobo Aura 1 will also be available to you if you have one of those device models that I mentioned to you just now. Okay, so as you can see, I've got my Kobo e-reader on, and it is not connected to Wi-Fi. So that's the first thing you should check for. Now you need to make sure that you are connected to the Wi-Fi in your home or wherever you may be. And then that way you will be able to access the library materials. So to connect your Wi-Fi, we will just tap that menu in the upper left-hand corner. Now you can see it's 3 lines stacked on top of each other. I like to call that a hamburger menu. So I'll just tap on that. And then I'll go into settings. I'm just going to double check my Wi-Fi connection. It says that it's on. Just going to make sure it connects properly. It's a live show, folks. Sometimes we have no idea what's going to happen, and this just happens to be the day. So I am going to join my network. Okay, so hopefully that takes. I'm going to double check that back on my home screen. So now you can see over here, just going to use my pen as a pointer. Up here, the Wi-Fi connection is not grayed out anymore, so we should be good to go. I also have my library card number next to me as well, because we'll need that in just a moment. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to our hamburger menu, and then I'm gonna go back to settings. And in our menu, the second option right here is OverDrive, so I'm going to tap on that. And right now I'm not signed in, so to do so, I'm going to tap Get Started. All right, because I already do have a Port Moody library card, then I'm going to tap Sign into OverDrive. Now, if you're watching this at home and you don't happen to have a library card, not a problem. We do have a form that you can fill out on our website, portmoodylibrary.ca, and you'll be able to apply for a digital card. So right now I'm going to tap into Sign into OverDrive. And in this field here, we'll need to enter the name of our home library. So because I'm a Port Moody Public Library patron, that's what I would want to type in. However, I can see that it recognizes generally where I am located geographically. So Port Moody Library is listed. I will select that one just by tapping. And so now you'll see over here we have the BC Libraries logo. So that's what we do want to see. It recognizes that Port Moody Library is a part of this group of libraries with buying power, which Virginia talked about earlier. So it does ask us to select our library from the list below. This may seem a little bit redundant. However, the first point of entry for Port Moody Library was to see that, oh, you're part of this group. And now it wants to know which library in this group we are from specifically. So all of the libraries are listed alphabetically. So I'm just going to keep tapping down until I find Port Moody. And then I'm going to select it. Okay, so at this point, now I'll need to enter my library card number. And for the interest of privacy, I am just going to cover my camera. So do bear with me a moment while I enter my library card number. It goes a lot faster if you type in all the numbers correctly the first time around, I gotta admit. And once you do log into OverDrive on your Kobo device, you won't need to re-enter that number. So you won't have to worry about having your library card on hand, for example, if you're traveling. Once you're logged into your device, until you actually sign out or restart, or rather reset your device, then you won't need to re-enter that number. Okay, so right now you can see that we've signed in successfully to OverDrive. So right now I'll show you first how we can browse for items. Say if we just want to see what is available for us right now. So I'm going to tap Browse. And you'll notice up here at the very top, it does say Kobo Store. So right up here. Now that is perfectly normal. So because Kobo is a commercial product and essentially they had this Kobo store built into all of their Wi-Fi enabled e-readers, what they've done is that they have added OverDrive integration into their existing product. So first and foremost, they're running their storefront and they're adding OverDrive into that storefront. So up here, you can see we have Overview, Wish List, and British Columbia Libraries listed. Those are all kind of like tabs. So right now you can see that because we've logged in with OverDrive, the BC Libraries tab is selected. And we have a bunch of different book carousels. Now these have been curated by librarians from the BC Libraries. At the bottom you can see this is just page 1 of 10 because there's only so much that can fit on the screen of our Kobo e-reader. So these do change periodically. So you may find different thematic collections. There's also Available Now, which is very handy. So you will never have to wait or place a hold for one of these books. The Express collection is also fantastic if you're looking for something to read right now. Again, no wait lists and no cap on how many borrowers can read these titles concurrently, including some very, very good titles right here. And other curated lists, for example, best books from 2019, award nominees, and also some books about spring. Now, I think on the very first page, there was something that I was interested in, and I see that Harry Potter is available. So what we can do is just tap on the cover of the item that we want to take a look at or find out more information about. Now, this is just some information about OverDrive because I have signed in here recently, but I will show you exactly what they're talking about here. So right now you can see that this is giving me information about this particular Harry Potter book. We can read a synopsis down here as well as additional details just by tapping on these tabs down here. Now up here we can see that it says buy this book for $10.99. However, I'm a library card holder and I really don't wish to buy this book. I want to borrow it. So to find that menu to borrow the item, we tap on this set of 3 dots here. So kind of like the 3 stacked lines in the hamburger menu, the 3 dots indicates that there's an expandable menu if we tap it. So if I go ahead and tap those 3 dots, third time's a charm. Okay, here we go. So when I tap on those 3 dots, a menu appears, and it gives me only options for things that I am able to do. So for example, the first option right here is to borrow with OverDrive. That means that this book is available for loan, and I'll be able to borrow it right away. If, for example, a book was currently on loan, but I did want to borrow it eventually, instead of saying borrow with OverDrive, that option would say place a hold. Now we can also add this book to our wish list if you are interested in something, but maybe don't want to borrow it or read it right now. You can add it to that list, kind of like a to-be-read list or a to-read list. Add it to a collection that you can create. You can play around with that, whatever works for you in terms of your reading log system. But right now, I am going to borrow this book. So to do that, I just need to tap on Borrow with OverDrive. So it's connecting to the system to download it. And it has confirmed that we have checked out this item. So it says that Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone will be downloaded to your e-reader. And it also gives us the expiry date. So as with all of the ebooks on OverDrive, there are no fines that you can accrue. Whenever the due date is up, if you have not yet returned the item, that item will simply expire. So the expiry date for this will be Thursday, June the 4th, which should be 3 weeks from now. So right now I am going to go to books. So this refers to my books that I have saved within my Kobo. And I can see right here that in my books, I do have that copy of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone that we just borrowed. Now, when I want to go ahead and read it, all I have to do is tap that cover. And indeed, the book has been borrowed and downloaded to our device. So if I want to get out of the book, all I have to do is tap somewhere near the top of the screen, and you can see that a menu comes up both top and bottom. And to get back to my books, I just need to tap this arrow in the upper left-hand corner. So back to my books, and we've got Harry Potter right here. Now, to get to my books from your home screen, say you just started up your ebook reader and you are back at the main screen right here, you can find everything either in your most recently read items, or we can head back to the hamburger menu, tap on that, and then tap on my books. Now, if as a courtesy to the next borrower, I wish to return this title before the expiry date, I can do that right here from my books. So all I need to do is to, again, tap the 3 dots. Sometimes it's a little finicky and I wish I had a stylus. Let's see here. Oops. To be honest, this happens to me when I'm just reading on my own without a camera trained on me. Okay, so when I tap on the three dots, you can see that a menu comes up and there is an option to return this item. So to return a book is as easy as tapping on return. And then it just confirms that I'm not making an error and that I do want to return this book very early. So I will say yes, return. And then it will process that return for me. Now you'll notice that even though I have returned this book to the library, it still is showing up on my books list. I really don't want it there because I am done with the book. So to remove this from my books, again, I'll need to tap on that tiny little menu of three dots. There we go. And you'll notice now that the menu items have changed. So I do want to remove this item, so I'm going to use that option right at the bottom there. And then to get this off of my list completely, I will need to select the second option, which is remove from my books, and then tap remove. And then it's gone. Now, we can also search for items as you would in any library catalog or store catalog, and that's by using this search glass up in the right-hand corner here. Now, wherever you are in your Kobo, as long as you're not in reading mode, you should see that search glass. For example, if I head back home, then I do see that search glass here. And when we are in the Kobo store, looking at library books, there is also the search glass at the top. So if we tap on that, you'll notice here that Kobo is giving us a tip that we can select OverDrive to show only the items that are part of the library's ebook collection. That comes in really handy and helps to remove a lot of disappointment when you search for a book, get excited to borrow it, and find out it's only available for purchase. Now, if we tap in here, we can also search within our Kobo e-reader under My Books, and we can also search for store items if we wish to purchase them. But right now, we do want to search for OverDrive materials. So you can type in title, author, keywords, just as you would with any library catalog. And it is suggesting Harry Potter for me very conveniently. And it's giving me an error, which sometimes that will happen. I'm not particularly alarmed about this. Well, that's kind of odd, folks. We do know that there are Harry Potter titles in the collection because we just borrowed one. Not sure why it's not really syncing up right now, but that is okay. Now, as Virginia mentioned before, you can access this particular collection for Library to Go and OverDrive through either your desktop or using the Libby app for your smartphone or your tablet. It's great. I gotta say, it's great to search the catalog on one of those other platforms because you have a lot more search power, I gotta say. It is admittedly a little bit more limited. If we head back to the Kobo store, which has the OverDrive integration. So I do admit it is a little bit more limited when we are searching for items within the OverDrive catalog within the Kobo store. You're not able to filter as finely as you can using the desktop version. However, one thing I like to do is to, if I'm on my computer, I like to browse the catalog. I like to browse the catalog using my desktop computer while I'm signed in with my account. And so if I borrow an item on the desktop version of Library to Go, then all I have to do if I want to read it on my Kobo e-reader is to go ahead up here to this icon. So it's 2 arrows in a circle. And all I have to do is, once I've borrowed an item using the desktop version or app version of Library to Go and OverDrive, all I have to do is tap on that sync icon. And what that'll do is it'll recognize that I do have a book checked out with Library to Go, and then it'll pull that into my Kobo. So it may take a little while depending on when the last time you had updated your device was, or if you have borrowed multiple books in this manner. But this was pretty quick because I just had one book checked out. And what will happen is that it will automatically sync onto your device and head into your books. So that's about it for Kobo and OverDrive integration. Pretty easy peasy once you are logged in and know how to navigate the catalog. So I'm just gonna bring back Virginia.
That was great. Thank you, Les. That was really useful.
Pretty simple, right?
Yeah, like when you actually look at it compared to what it used to be, this is like miles and miles much better than than having to because with the old ones you have to like plug it into a computer and then make sure everything is like connected and then like transfer and then unplug. If you like pull out the USB too early, then it doesn't work. There's lots of problems.
Yeah.
So this is really good.
Yeah, and it's great for if you're traveling and you run out of books that you feel like reading. As long as you have a Wi-Fi connection and you are signed in with your library card or you have your library card number with you, then it's super easy to keep getting books wherever you are.
Yeah, because again, same thing, right? It used to be that you have to like pick all your books ahead of time, before you go traveling, right? Yeah, like load it all up onto your Kobo and then go, and then when you finish early or if you find out that you didn't really like a book, then you're kind of stuck unless you have your computer with you. But now it's like all like done through the thing. Even with the more the less powerful search on the Kobo is still better. Yeah, but it's a really good tip. I would probably search on the website too, because you see all the color covers. You see color, right? On the covers, you do like to see the colors, and then once you're reading, then you don't need the color anymore. But it's nice to go through the ebook website and browse that way. And it's probably faster, I would think, on there too.
It is faster. I feel like the Kobos are getting better about responsiveness with menu selection. But yeah, whatever works for you. It's nice to have options. So whether you're away or you are sitting at a desk with your computer, then it's great to have different options to find out what books are available.
Yeah. Liz, I sent you a question on your phone.
Which is filming the Kobo right now. But
okay.
Yeah, do you want to let me know the question?
I do. So if you are reading the same book, can you do like would it keep track of where you are? Or if I'm reading a book on a say on your phone, and then you also read on an e-reader?
Yes, I believe because you are logged in using the same library card with each device, it does keep track of your last page on whichever device it was. And I believe that, for example, if I left off on a further page on my desktop and then went to my e-reader the next day, I think there is a prompt that says, oh, we saw that you were actually on page 19,
right?
But there's page 12 showing up on your e-reader. Do you want to go to page 19?
Okay, all right. So as long as you're connected to the Wi-Fi, it kind of does the syncing on its own.
Yeah, it recognizes that you are the same library patron accessing this material.
Right. Okay. And then you show us how to return books early, which is great because, like you said, if you're done with it, knowing that there's a long waiting list, may as well return it, and someone else could have the book. If we don't return it, then how does that work?
If you don't return it, it'll just stop working. So you won't be able to open the book and continue reading it. It will still show up in your My Books section.
Okay.
However, it will change. Instead of saying read now, it'll say something like read a preview. So just like we did with after we returned the Harry Potter book, when you tap on the three dots in the menu, then there will be the option to remove that. So if you're really done with it, even if it's expired, then you can do it that way.
Okay. Great.
Awesome. Well, thanks to everybody for joining us for today's Tech Thursday. If you do have any questions as you're working through your Kobo device and downloading ebooks from our library, please do get in touch with us. You can comment on this video, or like Virginia said, you can email us, askthelibrary@portmoody.ca, or get in touch with us on social media. We'd love to hear from you. All right, so stay tuned for next week's Tech Thursday. We'll see what we have in store for you then. Bye for now.
Bye. Have a good afternoon.